Hi guys, it's Shayna. I just want to make a video on why I ultimately chose gastric bypass. I think my decision is a little bit different than others um, because most of the people that I've seen discuss their decision on YouTube have talked about the fact that they considered it for years before they actually went and did it. That was not the case for me. Gastric bypass was not even a blip on my radar until probably May of this year. Um, Years ago, I had seen a show with a man who was um, extremely obese and he was bedridden. And he went to his surgeon to discuss a surgery option. And I'm not even sure what the surgery was. I just assumed basically all of the surgeries at that time I thought were gastric bypass. Um, and the surgeon's response to him was, "This is an extremely dangerous surgery. Are you willing to die to have this done?" And that right there made my decision up. It was not even a thought. I couldn't believe that that was so dangerous. And so it never really crossed my mind. That always stuck in my head. Um, but this, uh, let's see, in about May, um, my husband was looking at a friend of his wives had the surgery, and he was friends with her on Facebook. And so he happened to see some comment on there or something and mentioned it to me. And he was like, "Wow, I can't believe she had it. She really, I don't ever remember her being that big." Which I think as a society, we are so obese that morbid obesity doesn't seem that big to us, which is completely absurd. Um, but we don't notice it as much. Um, that was a little sidetrack, but so when he said that, I sort of poked around on her page and looked into it a little bit, and then I started to Google it a little, and it piqued my curiosity. And the more I read, the more I realized, absolutely, it is a dangerous procedure. You are having a major surgery. You're rerouting your intestines, you're cutting your stomach. It is dangerous. I'm not stupid, I do understand that. Um, but the risks of staying morbidly obese long term are greater than the risks of surgery. Um, and the more I read that, the more I started to feel like maybe this is an option for me. Like everyone else, I have tried every single diet known to man and have had mild successes. I mean, I have lost 30, 40 pounds several times over the last 15 years or so. Um, but it ultimately comes back on. And I just, I don't want to see myself, another 15 years later being overweight. And ultimately, now I don't really have too many problems. But another 15 years later, I am going to have major health problems. The things that sort of just keep running over in my head as to why I want this surgery. My father has high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and sleep apnea. He's 54 years old. My mother, the last time I went to the mall with her, we were walking around and she was just saying, "I'm going to pay for this tomorrow. My knees are going to hurt so bad that I'm not going to be able to get out of bed tomorrow." And she's 50 years old. I don't want that for myself. And it's coming down the line. Diabetes is definitely coming down the line for me. My father's a diabetic. His father's a diabetic. His father is very thin. And so the obesity isn't a factor for him. And he still has diabetes. My mother's father had diabetes. And at 23 years old, I was diagnosed with insulin resistance, which is basically a precursor to diabetes. So that was part of the reason that I chose gastric bypass over lap band. But I don't want that for myself. I don't. I want to have a long life with my kids and my grandkids, and yeah. So that was a big part of it. The other part of it is my children. I want to break the cycle. My parents are heavy. I'm heavy. I don't want them to be heavy. I don't want them to feel the ridicule and the embarrassment of being heavy. I don't want to see them suffer from medical problems as a result of being heavy. I just want them to be able to avoid that. I want them to learn by example from me that how to make healthy eating choices, to constantly be active and to be moving. I want to do those things as a family and just set those patterns up now. I remember Oprah saying one time that people that were really obese have like, you know, terrible trauma in their background and stuff, and that was not the case for me. This was a learned behavior. My parents would just sit down with a bag of chips, or 2 bags of chips usually for the whole family, and we'd polish them off just watching television right before bed and then go to sleep. And that is something that I find myself doing now. So I just don't want that for my kids, and they're young enough now. I have 2 1-year-olds, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old. I think if I make the lifestyle change now, they're never going to see that. They're not going to remember the eating of a bag of chips before bed. Because I just don't want them to do that. And the other part of it is, I want to go to Disney with them in a few years and to do major vacations. I don't want to worry about stuffing my butt in a little teeny seat on the airplane, or worry that the attendants on a ride are going to tell me, sorry, you don't fit, and I'm going to have to slink away feeling horrible about myself and have my entire family go on the ride without me. I just want to enjoy my life with them. I'm so blessed to have 3 beautiful children, a wonderful husband, and I miss out on stuff. And it's not even that I can't, because my weight isn't so high that I can't do things, but the self-consciousness is still there, and I just miss out on a lot because of it. Which I know is a mental issue, and a lot of this is going to be a mental issue that I'm going to have to face. And that's part of why I'm doing YouTube. I need to be held accountable. I need to talk to people about everything. I need to get it out there and try to sort out my feelings, and I think that's going to be a huge help as this process goes on. But that was pretty much all I wanted to say. I just wanted to talk about that. The other thing is I still haven't heard from my doctor's office, which is driving me nuts, on scheduling a date, which it's been 2 weeks tomorrow from the date that my doctor's office, or that my insurance approved me, and I still have nothing. So I'm going to call tomorrow if I don't hear anything, and see what's going on, and hopefully I'll get some answers. Because I have a pre-op date, but I have no operation scheduled, so hopefully it'll be soon. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.